Good morning, friends. We are ready to map this morning, Friday morning, 9:15. Welcome. Please get your water bottles or foam roller, a TheraBand, or if you don't have an elastic band, just a belt or even a towel, anything that is longish that you can wrap around your body or hold your leg up with. That'll suffice. And then the spiky ball. All right, let's get going. Okay, so it's Black Friday, but today we are just going to be as multicolored as possible because it's summer in South Africa and we've got lots to be thankful for, at least I think so. And yeah, let's celebrate that. I'm going to ask you to just use the spiky ball under your foot to start with, pressing down and massaging from the tips of your toes to the heel, through the inside of your foot arch, and also slightly on the outside of the foot arch. So really getting into all the nooks and crannies and those intercostal muscles, the muscles between the bones in your foot. So we know that in our hands and feet, we've got lots of proprioceptive nerve endings and whatnot, cells that inform your brain where you are in space. And by stimulating the soles of the feet, we're not only loosening the core line fascially, but we're also just creating a better awareness of where we are. And that can really improve one's balance and your general well-being. This is probably one of the reasons why they encourage children to walk on bare feet. It's good for the growth, and it's also good for the muscles and the bones. And it tells them where they are, what the surface is like under their feet. They learn from that. Okay, we're going to take the other foot, pressing down and rolling. Here we go. And in a way, we are desensitizing ourselves as well, right? If you only ever walk in shoes and you have to walk on bare feet suddenly, maybe outside in the garden on an uneven surface or on the tar, it can be very painful the first time you do that because it's an assault on your body. Your senses aren't used to different surfaces and sharp objects pressing into your foot. But really we should be. So this is a good idea. For the parents among us, if you want to train yourself and you're feeling hardcore, just throw out some Lego, put a towel over it, and walk around on the Lego blocks. You'll know exactly what I mean. Little Lego blocks that get left behind on Persian carpets where you can't see them. And then you end up shuffling in the dark and stepping on them. That's horrible. Just one really does a lot of damage. All right, so my suggestion is rather to have a nice selection, maybe some pebble stones or some Lego that are scattered together and then cover it in something to take the edge off. Okay, so we've got this lovely foot all rolled out. And we're going to just take a stance for a moment, shake out your shoulders. Close your eyes for a second and just become aware of your body in space. Where are you? Can you feel your feet? Are you grounded? Are you able to take a deep breath in now? And exhale. Can you sway forward onto the front of the foot? And then breathe out and move back towards the heel. Can you sway to the left? And exhale as you sway over to the right. And now having created a 4-point star, we're going to circle all around that from the one point to the other. So forward, side, back, and side. If you can maintain your eyes closed, that's going to really zoom in on your proprioception from the soles of your feet. If you can't, just glare through little slivers in your eyelids. And then let's change direction. So we're going to spiral around the other way. Focusing on deep breath. Let's do one more. And breathe out. And then come to center. You can open your eyes. See if you can stand on one leg for me and grab a hold of your spiky ball. Can you lift it with your toes? I get to lift mine and then it falls back out again. So I'm going to do that a couple of times. If your spiky ball doesn't seem to want to grip, grab any other object that you can find, maybe the top that you wore this morning, or even this, the TheraBand. Anything that you are able to get the satisfaction of lifting off the floor and see if you can lift it up. And the act of struggling is the whole point. So if you can't even move it up at all, but you are able to work those intrinsic muscles very deeply, mission accomplished. All right, so I'm trying to hold it on with my insides of my toes. I'm spreading them. I'm sort of clawing at the ball and dropping it. And we'll do 2 more on this side. Just don't forget to breathe. And release it. Here comes the last attempt. Whether it's successful or not is not important. It's the act of trying that's important. Right, your toes should feel slightly distressed and definitely warm. And we'll go over to the other foot. I'm not worried what side you start on, as long as you know that you've done both sides. So grip, lift, release. Give them a wiggle in between if they're cramping. You're trying to spread your foot out over the ball as much as possible. Trying to dig your individual toes into the little hairs of the spiky ball, or the spikes rather. And it's a bit of a struggle. We're going to do this 3 more times. That's it. And 2 more. And wiggle, wiggle. And here comes the last attempt. Up we go. It can be a little frustrating, can't it? And release. Just walk it out. Good. Okay, please take your strap, flex band, or towel, whatever you have as a long object, and wrap it around your right foot big toe. And then you can take a stance where you're standing with the majority of your weight over on the left side, and you're holding your right leg out in front of you like this. And we're going to press the leg down, or the foot down rather, with the ball of the foot, and then press with the big toe, and then peel it back up. So I press and I peel it up. Obviously, if you've got an elastic, you can secure your arms and push against the resistance of the elastic. If what you're holding onto is not flexible, like a leather strap, for instance, or a belt, you are going to allow for your arms to move with your toes, but you've got to have the resistance there so that your big toe and foot arch is working harder than the rest of your foot to press down. And press and release. Good, and push and release. Press, release. Lovely. 3 more. Press and release. 2 more to press. Release. Last one. Press it down and release it. Good. Lift your foot up. Take the band over the 4 toes that are remaining, releasing the big toe. Okay, so now the outside toes get to do the job. It would be wonderful if we could just do it in one go, but oftentimes you need to fiddle a little bit. Press and release. Whoops. Like I said. Okay, so I'm trying to now flatten my TheraBand so it looks a little bit more like this. All right, so there's a loose bit over the tip of my toes. That seems to be more secure. If you want to have a go at that, the same would be true for a towel. And press and release. So now, if I could refer to my hand, it's as if I'm strumming the floor from the baby toe to the 4th toe, just right next to the big toe. And I'm working the outside of the foot. So when we walk, typically we strike with our heel, and then we roll from the little toe towards the big toe. So we are emphasizing those first 4 digits and sort of making a whole drama about that strumming from the baby toe to the middle toe. Can you feel the muscles under the baby toe and the front of the foot working? Press. 3 more. Press. 2 more. And press. You're probably feeling muscles you didn't know you had. Last one. Press. Release. Okay. Shake out this one. Then put your whole foot into whatever it is that you're using as a prop. And we're going to lift that leg up. Standing on the other leg, we're going to step back into a lunge and then lift the leg back up again. So it looks like this from the side. I've got my knee up. I step back and I swing it through. And I step and I swing it through. All right. And press, swing it through. Balance. Press. And bring it through. All right. So the surface that you stand on will greatly determine your ability to balance. If you want to challenge your balance, you're going to remain on your mat. If the balance is so-so and you're falling around more than you're doing anything else, rather step off your mat. Because we do want to be able to achieve the movement, although we oftentimes struggle through it. That's fine. That's part of the process. You are training that automatic balance response in your body that proprioception will give you in order to do whatever you need to do if you're in a situation where suddenly your balance is challenged. Like if you slip, how do you auto-correct? Last 2, press back, lift up, last 1, press and lift and release it. Okay, now I'm curious which leg worked hardest. Was it the one that was in the air? No, hey, you probably feel your standing leg more. Okay, so we're going to do both sides. Remember the standing leg, the shin muscles will work a lot if your foot wobbles like this. And that's what we want. Okay, so we're going to take it under the big toe to start with. Heel forward. And then we step down and press and we lift. With all flex band exercises, it's important to be mindful of what your body is doing when it's holding, right? So we don't want to end up standing like this the whole time. That defeats the purpose. So try and get yourself as ergonomically responsible as possible. Nice square shoulders, good Pilates or mat stance. Deep breaths. That's it. And we're mindful of our standing legs as well. So we're not just sitting in that hip. We're lifting ourselves up, creating a long line, being as tall as possible. Thinking about the weekend, thinking about the sun. No, coming into your own body, focusing on your task at hand. I don't have Table Mountain to tempt me this morning, but I do have a beautiful view here of our hills and vineyards in the Ferris Cape and of a mad dog running around outside. And lift. I will not allow him in the mat class because he will disrupt the lesson. Not like Amanda's dog who says hello and then goes off again. My one will probably create chaos. Okay, right, release that big toe. We should be feeling the inside arch, right? So those muscles will have worked. And let's take the other 4. And this is where you need to have a little frill hanging over the edge of your toes, just to secure the band. And even then, it wants to slip out once in a while. And then we strum and we lift. Strumming from the little toe to the 4th toe and up, down and up. And the crazy thing is, one foot feels all right, and the other foot is sometimes a little bit like it doesn't want to do what it's supposed to do. Okay, so just take a note, take a mental note. I'm finding, for instance, on my left side, I'm having to hold my hand over here so there's a diagonal pull backwards, otherwise I keep losing it over the little toe. I didn't have that problem on the other side. So just look at where the line of pull needs to be so that you can work into your strap. Down and up. Little toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and up. And lift. And we can become really obsessed with these little movements. But that's okay, because it's called the intrinsic muscles. Doesn't that just sound like you need to be obsessed with it in order to get it to work? The foot is really secretive. There are lots of bones and joints in there that we don't even know of. Obviously, the doctors and the specialists do, but if you look at your foot, it seems like it's one thing, but it's not. And two more, and one more, and release. What we do know is if people lose a single toe, it greatly affects their ability to walk and run. So think of each and every one of your toes now as being special and important for your balance and a good gait pattern. Okay, so this is where we lift and we step back and up and back. And just because it makes sense to me, I'm going to inhale as I lift my knee and exhale as I step back. If you want to do it the other way around, that's fine. As long as we breathe through our nose and we focus on good posture, opening the rib cage for that inhale, and then shrinking the ribs and the abdominals on the exhale so that you are squeezing out the stale air from the bottom of your lungs. Press. And press. And I'm going to count 5 more. And 4. Lift and press. 3. Focus on the standing leg as well, right? So knee, ankle, hip alignment. 2. And 1. And we finish in center. And we just walk it out. Good job. Okay. I'd like you now to stand on a long piece of band with your left leg and your right foot. And the band is in my right hand. So I'm standing quite wide. And I've got it over here. Okay. So I'll just show a modification for people with a shoulder injury. If your shoulder is sensitive, keep your hand by your shoulder like this and potentially just do this little movement. If your arm is fine, you're going to take yourself out like so, and then you're going to reach up and over to stretch and bring the arm back. That's it, and stretch and bring it back. And let's breathe in as we stretch and exhale, return. Now I have a sense of the abdominal wall protecting my back and my head was being a part of my spine. So the head follows the line of the upper back, which we call the thoracic spine. Reach and back one more time. Reach up and bring it back. All right, so what we've stretched out now, this band symbolizes your lateral line in fascial speech, going up all the way to the side through the neck as well. We're going to just top it up with a little neck stretch, so you can grab a hold of the top of your head and bring it down very gently. And to increase that stretch slightly more to the front, where a lot of people are tight, put your hand behind your back and pull your shoulder backwards as you stretch to the side. Then release the neck and rotate your head so that you look down at your left foot and stretch. There we go. Repeat it one more time, coming back to the front and we stretch. If I slide my hand down my buttock as if I'm putting my hand in my jean pockets, it might also increase the stretch for you. Release as long as you're not feeling any pins and needles. Rotate the head and we stretch down. Just different fibers of the various muscles on the side of the neck. And release back out. All right, so we've got the same stretch now on the other side. I'm going to take my long tail and step over. Here we go. So we reach out and we go to breathe in and out. And inhale to reach and exhale. So this lateral line really helps us to move. It unlocks our rotation and our movement from our front lines to our back lines. So if I'm stiff on my sides, it's going to greatly impact anything that requires a transition from left to right, across the midline, any rotational movement, etc. So really, if you think of a person running or walking, it's a crisscross pattern the whole time. There's rotation at every joint in the body, even if it's minimal rotation. So we need that line to be supple so that you don't feel stiff and sore. And release. Roll out the shoulder, hand behind the buttock, head softly tilted to one side. And as you breathe deeply, you're going to feel the stretch and the opening through the front of the shoulder, the clavicle, collarbone. Little gentle release just before you rotate the head, and then we look down as we gaze at our opposite foot. Keep the breath going. And release, and one more. We look forward, we tilt the head off to the side. Remember to pull your shoulder back slightly if you're not feeling it. If there's any compression pain or tingling in the arm, you are probably pushing down too hard. Release, and one more time, diagonally down. And then we release up. Give your shoulders a good roll. Excellent. So we step off our band, and we're going to bring it around our backs now. Towel works great for this one as well. I'm going to turn to the side just to show you. So we're going to reach up like this, and then we're going to exhale and flex the spine, really squeezing out all the air that you can manage. As you inhale, you're going to extend your spine, lift your chest, and allow your arms to be pulled back slightly by the band to create a stretch through the front of the chest. The thumbs are going to face up, and your hands may go slightly higher, but they don't have to. All right, so it's a breath out, forward. And I want you to really exhale, go for that exhale, squeeze your tummy. This is an abdominal contraction. That tummy muscle must feel like it's getting hard and slightly burny. And if you can't hold the exhale any longer, we inhale, release. Exhale and fold yourself forward. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Pull it back. That's it. So it's not, Amanda, just watch this. It's not here. You've got to bring your shoulders more over your hips and then make a C curve in the middle. There you go. And then we breathe in, open. Exhale and flex, press. Press the soles of your feet firmly into the floor. It should feel like you can jump up and explode any moment. Inhale, open the chest. Only take that chest stretch as far as you're able to squeeze your shoulder blades together at the back. That's to avoid overstretching the front of your shoulder joint and creating pain. So what I mean by that is, as I come into this extension, my shoulder blades glide together. I gaze up slightly. There's no tension in my neck. And then I bend and I flex again. And I press the shoulder blades apart. Push the band forward. Push your spine back. Abdominal. Glutes are tucked in. And we inhale. This is our last one. Exhale and flex. Squeeze it. Pull. Pull. Press. 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 Inhale, open. And breathe out to stand up tall. All right. Good job. The band goes double now, like this. And we throw it across the back like this. And we're going to do a little bit of a back rub. So we are creating friction. We know that fascia loves friction. It loves to be sheared. And there's no pretty way to do this. You've got to just sort of think about having a real big scratch on your back and then wax on and wax off. And there will be no judgment if your t-shirt ends up over your head. Mine might. I hope not. All right, if your arm gets tired, because that's often the thing that complains first, then just swing it around to the other side. We'll do both sides twice, so we're not overworking one shoulder. Keep the breathing going. That's it, and in. And out, and you can stand with straight legs, but I find I've got to bend my knees so that I can get my back a bit rounder. Otherwise, I'm scratching a hollow. There we go. I'm going back to side number 1 for the last round. Good. And those arms should be really complaining by now. You'll feel your deltoids and your triceps at the back here. Last round, number 2. Second side, in other words. Good. And we are ready. All right, now it goes into your back. You can stand upright for this one. Left and right through the lower back. Good. And then we go over the buttocks. Polish the derriere. Good. And we work ourselves down. You can roll down all the way to the bottom. Breathing in and out. And then bring the band around to the front. Just hold it between your hands for a moment. Drop your head. Give yourself a little bounce. Breathing in and out. Then bounce over for me to the one side so that your band between your two hands is exactly 90 degrees to the length of your mat. And can you breathe very deeply there? And then we come back to the front. And we go over to the other side. Aim to get a nice sharp angle there. And then bring it back to the center. Take a moment in center where you just pause and hang for a sec. Deep breathing. Breathe in. Exhale, engage those legs as you start to roll up, squeezing your buttocks. Inhale and bring up the rest of the body, arms overhead. Last side stretch, exhale. And inhale, center. And exhale. And inhale, center. Now we're going to go side. Bend the knees, bend the body, side flexion. Stretch your legs, come back up to the side bend. And bring it to the center. Do a side bend on straight legs to the other side. Then bend your knees and flex your spine like we had earlier. Flexing forward and bringing the arms horizontal to the floor. That looks great. Then we stretch again to come to the side bend and up. We'll do that one more each side. To my left. Bending the knees, gazing down to my left foot. My tailbone is pointing to the floor. The back is round, not arched. Then I straighten the legs as I come back to the side stretch. I come up to center, one more time, to the right, head stays between the arms, flex and rotate to the floor. This might be an exhale. Inhale to side stretch again. Open the rib cage on one side, exhale up and bring the arms down. Give those shoulders a well-deserved roll. We are going to massage them with the spiky ball and the foam roller next. I'm going to have a good long sip of water. And then we'll go down to the mat. So I've got one horrible bottle that keeps squirting water if you drink from it. Mental note not to take it again. All right, spiky ball is going to go behind your shoulder. You've got options now. If your head feels like it needs a lot of support today, pop the foam roller under your head like a pillow. And then put the ball behind your back, between your shoulder blade and your spine on the left side. Otherwise, if that's not so much of an issue, you can just keep your head in your hands. This is going to cause more pressure on the ball. And we're going to be lying on the rhomboid and the middle trapezius muscles and massaging it gently. Well, gently. Really depends on what you refer to as gently. I suppose we can dose the amount of pressure by having either the head on the roller or in the air. So at the moment, I'm choosing a in-between version. I'm lying on my hands, but I'm resting my head on the floor. And I'm using my body in a squiggle from side to side to create a little deep massage in that area. And one always just wants to sort of give your muscles time to have their little fight and flight response. The initial reaction in one's body when you do these fascial releases is a bit of resistance. And then if you can just bring yourself to a place where you can bear it and you can breathe through, then you're ready to add a little bit more detail. It takes about 30 seconds in most people. So we're going to now start to put more weight on that ball by either doing a head lift and lower, or a hip lift and lower. And for the sake of demonstration, I'm going to do them alternating, but you're welcome to choose one or the other and stick with that. We're going to count 15 times. So I exhale, and I breathe in, and I breathe out, and I breathe in, and lift, and inhale, and exhale, and lower. And 5 more sets, and up, and down. You want to be using a full out breath, especially on the bit where you lift your head, right? So it's an abdominal contraction with a supported neck, and we are simultaneously pushing into the ball. And lift, and lower. Last 2, and down, and up we go, and we lower down. All right, and then please take the arm on the side where the ball is. So for me, it's the left side, and you're going to be a little lopsided now. That's all right. Maybe just put a fist under your head if you don't have the foam roller under it. We're going to reach this arm back and swing it over. So this is quite a free movement. Once again, if there is a shoulder issue, you can minimize the amount of movement by taking your arm and holding it like a little chicken wing. So that's less strenuous for the shoulder joint because it's a shorter lever. All right, do that 3 more times. And 2, and 1, and then we'll take it into a circle. So I'm going to take it back, circle to the side, circle around. Inhale and exhale. Can you feel how the muscles are sort of rolling and rippling over that ball? If you need to get a little bit more into it, you're more than allowed to wiggle your body around as you circle. Remember, with mat movement, it's about that fascial release. So there's a little bit of an organic, you know, add your own trimmings section of the movement. It's not quite as set and prescribed as in a Pilates class, where we focus more on the precision. So let's reverse the circle, and this time you can take the arm across your body. So as we come across, we're opening that space between the shoulder blades and spine, and we can press more into it. And I can feel that I'm really able to now find another little spot that needs squeezing into as I circle across, and I almost rotate my shoulders slightly without rolling away from the ball. I'm still pressing back into it. You can use the soles of your feet if you can't find enough pressure. And just push yourself into that ball. Last one. And circle. And bring it back to center. All right. So just take a moment where you take the ball out, you close your eyes, and you breathe. Can you feel that enormous sense of space that you've created on your left side? It almost feels like my left body is flat on the floor and my right body is still round and sort of off the floor. Now I'd like you to think of filling the gap that you've created with the ball with your breath. So as you breathe in, allow your ribs to set out and swell up in that space. Push the floor away with your rib cage. Exhale, contract your abdominals fully as you squeeze out all the air. And breathe in. Feel like you're pushing your shoulder blade away from your spine with your inhale, and then full exhale. You can exhale more. There's more left there. Exhale until you feel everything contract, even the pelvic floor. Last breath. This breathing is really good for you. It's great for your lymph. It's great for the blood. It pumps the blood back from the legs into the heart. Lowers your blood pressure. Keep exhaling. And it's great for your waistline as well, because you're massaging your organs, you're tightening your abdominal cavity, and you are working your abdominals with a massaging action on the intestine. And we release. Okay. Right, so ball goes onto the other side. Same procedure. And we are just finding our feet, or our back rather. So the first half a minute is spent just shimmying around, whirling yourself over the ball, backwards and forwards, and allowing your breath to just wash over you. Find the spot that you want to give special attention to. Maybe it's a little up or a little down. Don't necessarily assume it's going to be in exactly the same spot as the other side. It's really great to try these exercises on champagne corks as well. I'm looking at you because I know everyone's going to have champagne over the festive season. Save the corks. They are fantastic for mud because of their shape. Okay. So we don't want to apply pressure directly onto the spinous processes. So you're not directly onto the bony part of your spine. You're in that space between the shoulder blades, inside edge, and the spine. And then once I have my position, I'm going to start with the breathing exercise where we flex and curl. So I inhale on the floor. And I exhale to lift head and shoulders, pressing back into the ball, contracting the abdominals, really squeezing out, squeeze, 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 squeeze. You've got to feel that energy and that heat in your guts as your abdominals hold that out breath. And then we breathe in to release. And then the backside comes up. Exhale. Same with the glute. If you can get that glute contraction. Inhale, release. And exhale, left. Inhale, release. Now you might find that you're actually using one side more than the other, but that's because the ball is off center. So that's a little sneaky addition from my side. It's meant to feel skew. All right. Don't be too concerned about it. Your body is working hard to stay symmetrical on an asymmetrical surface. And out. Your body is making a plan. And isn't life all about making plans? And we can plan all we like, but we need to be able to adjust accordingly as situations change and as life throws us a curveball or a skew spiky ball. And release. And exhale. And breathe in. And exhale. Inhale, release. And blow it up, blow it up, blow it up. You can do more. You can do more. There's a little bit left right behind your belly button that can contract a bit more. And it's not in your neck at all. And release. And lift. Find that bit of muscle right under your seat where your sit bones and your buttocks meet. And release. And last set. And up. Use your heels and release it. Excellent. Okay, here comes the arm movement. Right, so the first circle goes back and it comes around. And your spine will be slightly extended because you're lying over the ball. If you're on a foam roller, your head will be higher, so that would put your spine more in a neutral position. And inhale and exhale. And it's about changing the angle of the arm, opening the front of the chest, and the back release is creating space in the front as well. Right, so sometimes we feel restricted in the front of our shoulder and chest, but the problem is actually coming from behind, coming from somewhere in the shoulder blade region. Our rotator cuff muscles come from the back, but they move to the front, so they have an influence on the positioning of the glenohumeral joint, which is the shoulder joint, and so forth. So you might find that any tension that you have in the front of your neck and chest, this area influences your shoulder mobility greatly. Now let's reverse it and let's take it across the body as we breathe out, spread into it, and in and out. So for those of us who are going to be baking cookies over the festive season, a rolling pin is a wonderful prop for mat. You can roll out your back, you can lie on the rolling pin, you can use it to roll out your quads, you can apply pressure on any body part and roll vigorously like you would be rolling out dough. So if you're going on holiday and you don't remember to pack your spiky ball, go and have a look in your kitchen. You might find all kinds of wonderful tools that you can use. Hand circle. And we're going to just finish it up and remove it. Whoopsie-daisy. Okay, take a moment. Just enjoy that hole that you've created in your chest. And feel how flat your shoulders feel. They feel like they're completely on the floor, don't they? Let's breathe deeply, hands at the front of the ribs. Inhale as much as you can. Breathe into that gap, expand your intercostal muscles, web the ribs far apart like a big accordion. And breathe out, compress, 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 compress. Keep going. You should be exhaling so much that there's a pull in your neck and your chin starts to poke up slightly. And release it, breathe in. And breathe out. If you're feeling your upper back in the spine, that's because your ribs attach to your spine at the back. And because you've manipulated your ribs to put pressure on them, you will feel the little junction between the spine and the ribs in the thoracic. That's fine. We are just opening that space with our breath now. Last one, and exhale. All right, now stretch out your legs. Take your arms behind you. Make sure that you've got space. You want to be circling like a snow angel now. We're going to breathe in, stretching, pandiculating, yawning a bit, releasing the jaw. And then if you exhale, you're going to be sweeping your arms sideways, nodding your chin to your chest, contracting your abdominals, and curling your toes and your heels towards you. So this is a contraction like a scoop, like I want to get up. I'm spreading my fingers, I'm spreading my toes, and I'm holding my tummy very firmly. And then I release and I stretch out again. And there's no limit to how far you may stretch. You may go all the way. It's an integrated movement. We're not holding any posture. We are stretching into our furthest corners of our skin. And then we come around and we contract and we pull from our core. So my tummy, my gut, this is where it is happening. And I hold it there for a couple of seconds and then I release. We'll do this 5 times. We've got 3 more. Oh, this is a good way to get up in the morning as well. Exhale. And breathe in. And stretch, stretch, stretch. Do a little squeal there if you feel like it. And lengthen those legs. And exhale, contract, 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 contract. And last one. This is going to move into a next level movement. So in the next level, we'll be lifting our legs as well. If your back doesn't feel good with that, lift one leg only, or leave them on the floor and do another set of 10, of 5. So we're going to be lifting up now, lifting and holding, breathing, and then placing the heels down and then releasing out. Inhale. Exhale, contract. Scoop it up, scoop it up, scoop it up and lift it. Make yourself round, reach, reach, reach. If you need some support and your neck is hurting, grab your legs, release your neck, hold your scoop, hold your scoop, hold your scoop. Then release the legs down first and then the rest of the spine. Inhale. And stretch, 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 stretch. Pandiculate a bit there. Prepare to breathe out and peel yourself off the floor and up. I can lift myself high if I use my arms. Once I'm there, I can see if I can stay there by releasing. If I can't, then I just grab again. It's fine. As long as you're feeling that deep contraction, you're up. And we release down and we breathe in. You should be feeling warmer by now. One more. Exhale up. Lift and pull. Deep contraction. Hold it, hold it. We're transitioning now into the next exercise. So to look a little bit like a roll, like a wide-legged roll. Hook your hands firmly behind your knees. Flex your feet. You are now 3 years old. And you are just, maybe you're even younger, maybe you're like 1.5. You are just learning how to crawl and roll on the floor and do all sorts of gaga things. And this feels great on the spine. You are allowed to stretch and bend at the knee as long as your spine stays rounded and you're not rolling onto your neck. Sometimes you might come up a little too high, but generally we're going to attempt to stay behind the sit bones. Okay, you've got 3 more. Keep breathing. 2 more. 1 more. And then just have a little look around. Do you have space on either side? Because we're now going to roll sideways. I hope you do. If not, make a quick plan. Okay, so from here, I'm going to go over to the side, drop down, lift and roll over to the other side, and drop down. And I come across, drop, take it over, and drop. There we go. And drop. Fortunately, you have no one watching you. I have a dog that is looking at me like I'm completely mad, probably wanting to join in the fun. And over, and over. Now try these rolls with your head very high up in the air. And place your hand and arm down carefully. So you're doing this in a, let's say, a chest lift position. And your spine is rolling through the center in an imprint so that you are rounded. Great job. 3 more. 2 more. 1 more. See if you can come all the way around and land on your feet. Oh, I hope your tile floor isn't as hard as my floor. I'm going to just jump a little bit back onto my mat now, and we're coming into this crouch position. Okay, guys, we're going to be walking forward, opposite hand and foot. So I'm walking forward, and then I'm walking back. And forward 1, 2, 3, 4, and back 1, 2, 3, 4, and forward 1, 2, 3, 4, and walk it back. 2, 3, 4. Great job. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and back. Last set. 2, 3, 4. Walk to the center. 2, 3, and pause. And then we're going to bounce down, down, down. Take a little jump. This looks like a frog. Down, 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 jump. Bounce, 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 hop. 2 more. Hop. 1 more. Hop. Find your footing. Bring yourself up into a squat. And hold. And breathe. Mouth closed. That's it. Try not to collapse up here. It's high up. That's it. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands go down. Hips go up. Stretch and hold for a moment. Recover your breath. And we're going to get back down. I'm going to hop down. You're welcome to get down softly if you want. Ready to walk. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the back. 2, 3, 4. Going forward. 2, 3, 4. Think of animals. Spread your paws. Fingers and toes wide. 3, 4. And the back. 2, 3, 4. Going forward for the last one. And then only walking back halfway into your crouch. We're going to leave out the hops. We're going to go straight from here into the squat. That's it. I'm going to shuffle around so I can see you. Here's my squat. Got my hands together, maybe even like this. We're going to jump in this position. Bounce, 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 hop, bounce, 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 little hop, bounce, 2, 3, hop. Watch my back, straight, and hop. So I'm not bouncing and hinging from my spine. Okay, if you need to hinge, rather do bounce, 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 up. This is an easier way. Okay, I'd rather have you work like this and jump with your spine all wilted. Hop, that's it. 3 more. 2 more. 1 more. And straighten up. Whew. Great job, everybody. We get to roll out those quads, and then we get to have a weekend. Big sip of water, foam roller, and that's it. So we're just going to recover our breath and roll it out. So you have done some cardio now, and that will make your breath race. But avoid the temptation to pant. I want you to really breathe through your nose. I know you are thinking, well, animals pant when they run, but they pant because they don't have sweat glands on their skin. It's a way to get rid of heat. We don't have to pant. We have noses, we can breathe. Okay. So as you roll forward, turn your big toes in. As you roll back, turn your big toes out. That way, you are strumming across the various muscle bodies in the quadriceps. Quadriceps meaning the 4 muscles of the upper thigh. And if you feel like it, you could do a little huckleberry fin move, or you can call it a swimming action, just kicking and rolling simultaneously. Now I'm going to end all the way forward to just above the knee and spend a little moment there. And breathe in and out, rotating the legs outward and inward. And last one, outward and inward. Then push yourself all the way back until you get to your hips. And if you're able to collapse over the roller and rest your head on the floor, then we do that. And this feels great. If it's not feeling great, take the roller out and just lie flat on your tummy. And just close your eyes and relax for a moment. Allow your belly to really swell up on the in-breath and deflate on the out-breath. Relax your glutes, your thighs, your feet. Relax your chest, your arms and your head. And relax your facial muscles. And unfortunately, it's only the beginning of the day, so we have to come out of this position, or I do. But if you are loving it, stay right where you are. That is us for today. I will see you again next week. And remember, we close on the 18th of December. All right.